Good morning and welcome once again to our business community support discussions as we round out basically the year. This will be our last show of 2020, and what an exciting year it has been. We've got a great lineup today and things to talk about, as we always do. We'll be talking with Holly Van Heel, Human Sciences Specialist in Nutrition and Wellness with Iowa Extension and Outreach. And so we'll be bringing her on in just a moment. But before we do that, let's, of course, bring on our usuals. We have, of course, Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market Plus Digital. Good morning, Cheryl.
Happy for our last session on this. And can you believe we've been doing this since March?
No, I can't believe we've been doing this since March, but it has been really, really great. We've had some great guests, and I've learned a lot along the way. So
yeah, great. We hope to continue it next year as well. Thank you.
Well, let's bring on Darcy Swan filling in for Kimberly with North Central Iowa's SBDC. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
I'm great, Darcy. Glad you came on.
Well, I love filling in when Kimberly can't be here, and it's nice we have two people in our center, so we always are covered. So that's great. So, and Jed, just to reiterate what you said, I've learned so much this year on these presentations, whether I was on or watching. A lot of great information, some amazing guests, and appreciate all the efforts that you guys do to put this on every week. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, and I think what we need to add to that is if somebody is looking, would like to contact us and has something that we might be able to use on the show, we are always willing to hear stuff out there. And again, our main idea is business community support. It's to provide our businesses in our communities that we basically would cover that can help them out. Initially started with the COVID, but we add that into it as well. But just have found it being very important that there's a lot of things out there that businesses don't necessarily always know about. And that's our whole mission with this program, is to make sure that everybody gets that information or has a resource or knows who to connect. And by doing it this way, at least they have a face that they can connect to and information.
Yeah, I mean, things have definitely grown and changed since we began this in March. It was definitely, changing by the moment and doing everything that we could to support local businesses. And the way that support has changed over the last months has been interesting, because it's gone from, just little changes to kind of big picture. How do we prepare businesses for, what may be a longer, more protracted situation than we'd already maybe thought of in March.
Yeah, exactly. So we again shout out, if anybody wants to hop on, you can get a hold of any of us, myself at Spin Market, Jed at Alpha Media, Darcy at Small Business Development, and of course Chris Patrick at Main Street Fort Dodge.
Well, the way we always do this is we broadcast this on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page, and of course on the Alpha Media YouTube channel as well. But if you'd like to make a comment during the show, we love comments. And so you can see it right there scrolling down below. Make that comment on Facebook, and you may just be able to become part of the show and get your answer live right now going on the show. So with that, let's bring on Holly Van Heel with the Iowa State Extension Office, and talking about something today that I think we can all use, and that is healthy eating habits during this pandemic, because we were kind of joking about it before the show, Holly, but the COVID-19 pounds has kind of become a thing.
Yes, it has. A little bit of more reality than we wanted. And we're in the midst of those holidays from Thanksgiving to New Year's, and the holidays are often filled with those time-honored traditions that include some of your favorite foods and meals. And yes, elastic waistbands help us delay some of those consequences. But there's never been a more important time to make some healthy choices than the 2020 holiday season.
Well, I've been talking with a lot of parents, and I know we're heading into the holidays, which definitely makes things worse. But many, many parents are saying that, when their kids were finding themselves sort of quarantined at home, that just snacking became just a constant in everybody's home, and that can have very real consequences.
Absolutely. Those snacks add up. It's kind of like when we're, cooking and we're doing sampling, same thing. Or You know, back when the malls had, you know, sampling, or the grocery stores had samplings, you know, those little samples all add up. Absolutely. And we need to be healthier now, because we do need to weather that serious illness that's going around, the COVID-19. And so the healthier we are, the better our chances.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I'm just going to add one thing, Holly. Yesterday on the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance board meeting, our CEO at Unity Point here in Fort Dodge made the comment that they have seen that obesity, most of the ages, the majority of the ages are 65 and older that have contracted COVID, that have been in the hospital. But she said what's really been a factor that they've seen across the board is the obesity in that, and how COVID has affected those individuals. So she said that that was going to be a focus going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
today I've got top 10 tips to create healthier meals.
Well, let's talk about that. How are we going to do that? How are we going to have these healthier meals for the holidays and for just every day?
Yeah. Well, number 10, mind your plate. Okay. So when it comes to that holiday meal, check out all the food options first, and then decide which ones you're going to put on that plate and which ones are you going to ignore. Okay. And then stick to that decision and make only one trip through that buffet line. And then when you start, choose those vegetables, either fresh or the cooked that are plain. Those are low in calories and high in flavor. And so load up on your veggies first. That's my number 10.
What I'm getting here, Holly, is choose a really big plate.
Well, not really.
Okay.
We should really be using more of the size of that bread plate rather than that dinner plate.
Sure.
Number 9, don't skip those meals. Okay? Don't eat less during the day of the big event, because you're going to be saving room to eat a lot more later. And this typically just leads to unwise decisions at that dinner table. So eat regular small meals, just like you normally would. Try not to sample everything that as you're cooking, like we were talking about. All those samples add up quickly. And if you're really, really hungry an hour or so before the big event, then have a snack, but combine it with a complex carb, like a whole wheat cracker, and a protein. So maybe whole wheat cracker and cheese, or whole wheat cracker and peanut butter, or even apple slices with peanut butter would also help.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about that one, because I find that one to be very interesting. It seems to be that skipping meals is a real problem, not just during the holidays, but I mean, I think a lot of people find that to be a thing. We get busy, we plan work meetings during our lunchtime sometimes, and skipping meals can be a real thing. What does that lead to if it is happening on a more daily occurrence?
What we're doing is we're just taking in all those calories all at one time, and our body needs fuel throughout the day. And that's why we need 3 meals or even 6 small meals where we can make sure that our body is fueled the entire day.
A lot of people, I think that maybe skipping a meal will lead to helping in weight loss. Is that a thing?
Well, you are probably going to consume less calories, but again, the health effects of that is not what we would consider healthy, because our body needs certain minerals and certain vitamins throughout the day. For example, calcium, we need that throughout the day. We also need that protein in order to keep our muscles and our bones and our skin healthy. So
great. Okay, well, we're on to number 8, I think.
We are. Number 8, okay, exercise your plan. So make being active part of your holiday tradition. So you've got a lot on your plate right now, and no pun intended, but sometimes physical activity gets crowded out of the plan. And so have fun walking and talking with family and friends if you can after a holiday meal. Try to avoid slouching on the couch watching football or a holiday movie. And exercise, even in small amounts, 10 minutes at a time, will help burn those calories that you just consumed. So just keep moving. And that also helps to reduce stress during the most stressful time of the year. So exercise is a good thing. Get out there.
That's great.
Number 7, know your distance or keep your distance. And, we've been practicing that really well with COVID. However, what this means is stay away from the food table. Okay? So keep your distance from the food table because you just tend to pick when you're close. So find a comfortable spot across the room and focus on socializing instead of eating. And if you're prone to that recreational eating, switch hands. So if your dominant hand, typically you're going to start eating with that dominant hand. So switch hands. Put your beverage in your dominant hand. Okay, and that's going to force you to focus more clearly on your food choices. And this surprisingly effective little trick works well when the menu is mostly finger foods. So
Right.
keep your distance. Number 6 is sometimes difficult, but tweak the sweets. Okay, choose fresh, canned, or frozen fruits that have no added sugar for your sweet treat. Fruit's an excellent source of that fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Try pears, apples, strawberries, or melons, or a fruit salad without any whipping cream or without any sugar. If you're the baker of the house, you can actually cut the sugar that's called for in that recipe by about 1/3 to 1/2. And often you won't even notice the difference. You could also try adding some extracts like almond, vanilla, lemon in place of sugar in some of the recipes. And you can enhance your foods, certainly with spices like ginger, allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg instead of sugar. Try to have just a small serving of foods that are high in sugar. Use what I call the 3-bite rule. Get your dessert, but then eat 3 bites and then leave the rest on your plate. Sometimes that's hard to do, but even worse would be to skip the sugar or the sweets altogether. So just at least have a bite.
Holly, I'm curious, this is Darcy. I'm curious there's so many sugar substitutes out there on the market right now. Can you talk a little bit about those? If they're really actually good choices to replace pure sugar, or what are your thoughts on that?
They're not great when it comes to baking. You'll have to kind of, it may be a halvesy or, a little of both type of thing. I haven't seen any latest research on the sugar alternatives. There's plenty out there. There's new ones all the time. Usually they're sugar alcohols that are their base. And so, they're very, very potent, as far as the amount based to sugar. The other thing is the new labels are coming out and they're going to have the added sugar listed on the labels and your food labels. Remember, just 1 teaspoon, though, of sugar is 16 calories. Okay, it's not a lot, but it can add up.
Mm-hmm. I have a niece who loves to bake, and she uses Swerve, and really likes it. Texture is is a huge deal when you're using a substitute. Sometimes it gets real mushy and it doesn't have that consistency. The sugar seems to be a little firmer, but she's on that. But I'm just curious because I have seen tons of information out there on those sugar substitutes, and then I'm wondering, well, is it really a good choice to substitute, or would it be better just to use the original? So
yeah,
I appreciate your input on that. Thanks.
You kind of have to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And along with the sweets, number 5 I have is cooking lighter. So in other words, try to reduce the fat, try to reduce the salt, but we also want to increase fiber, because fiber is one of those nutrients of concern for the American diet. And so some recipes, you can reduce the fat by 1/3, and you could probably just leave the salt out, or replace some of the wheat flour with whole wheat flour. And I know they now have white whole wheat flour, so it doesn't even look, that darker color isn't even there. You could also substitute Greek yogurt or a low-fat cottage cheese in place of sour cream in your dips if you want. I'll use evaporated skim milk instead of half and half or whipping cream in my cream soups. And so still getting that kind of that rich flavor, but not all the fat. I guess my suggestion would be choose the low fat or the no fat dairy products, your milk, your yogurt, your cheeses. And don't forget to grab the powdered version of some of those salts. Instead of garlic salt, get the garlic powder or the onion powder instead of their salt versions. So cooking lighter. It sounds like you might have needed this at your meeting, Darcy. This one is cheers. Cheers to your health. But sipping a large glass of sparkling water, diet soda, or even mineral water will help keep you hydrated and provide you with a better option than alcohol. Be wary of those seasonal specialty drinks like the peppermint mocha or maybe the eggnog or the gingerbread latte, simply because they pack a lot of calories. A glass of eggnog can set you back 500 calories. And so wine, beer, and mixed drinks certainly range from about 150 to 225 calories. So if you do drink alcohol, have a glass of water or juice-flavored seltzer in between those drinks. And the other is just be responsible.
I think a lot of times people don't realize when it comes to alcohol how much sugar really is in those drinks.
Well, alcohol itself is 9 calories per gram compared to, protein has 4 calories, carbohydrates are 4 calories, but that alcohol is twice that. So my third one is make protein lean. So make sure that you make lean protein choices when it comes to that center of the plate or that entree. Turkey, roast beef, fresh ham are all great lean choices. Be sure to bake, broil, or grill instead of frying. Remove the skin from that poultry and trim any visible fat from the other foods before baking or cooking. And go easy on sauces and gravies that you're preparing. So make protein part of that, but make it lean.
That's good.
Number 2 is enjoy. Okay, we're usually in a hurry this
This is
time.
my favorite one, Holly. I can tell you already. It's going to be my favorite one.
But around the dinner table, we need to take time, slow down, and savor each bite. Chew it slowly. Recognize the texture that's in your mouth and enjoy the flavor that it brings. It takes 10 to 20 minutes for your stomach's "I'm getting full" signal to get to your brain. Okay, so after your first helping, take a 10-minute break. Okay, make some conversation around the table. Drink some water. And then recheck your appetite. And if you're hungry, go for another round, but be mindful of what your stomach is saying. And the last one that I have is give back. Okay, and although food is a very integral part of the holidays, put the focus on family and friends, laughter and cheer, especially during this time with the pandemic. Spend time giving back to your family and community. Maybe spend some time providing food or preparing meals for those who may need a little help. Give food to your local food pantry or volunteer to serve meals at a shelter during the holiday season. Take time for you, your family, and your friends. With a little planning and some positive thinking, you can find peace and joy during the holidays. So On behalf of the staff here from Webster County Extension and Outreach Office, we wish you happy holidays.
That's perfect. What a great way to wrap out our 2020 with a top 10 and ending it with a give back. I just love it, Holly. That's fantastic. And I really do think that these are good tips, not just for the holidays, but probably all year round. We have this slide that we're able to pull up, and it talks about our choices during the pandemic. I mean, this is happening since March, and we can see that there's been a huge change in eating habits among adults, and a lot of those changes seem to be that we're eating more than we have before.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that 85%. I don't want to assume, but it would be nice if it meant that they actually changed eating or food prep habits for the better. But I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that study.
Yeah. We'd have to dig into that a little bit more to get the very, details of what exactly changed their eating habits mean. But, we're all either staying home more, working from home more. I think that our habits have had to change. But can you talk a little bit, Holly, about preparation habits that would be good? Because there are some things I find myself that if I plan ahead of time, I tend to make better choices than if I didn't make a plan.
Yeah, Jed, you said the magic word, and it's plan. I mean, we do need to plan what we're going to be eating. Whether, I don't think you have to, certainly do a 2-week menu, but you do need to plan. And then when you head to the grocery store, stay around the perimeter. See if you can avoid the internal part of the store, because we're going to hit the fresh veggies, we're going to hit the breads, the grains, we're going to hit the meats that have not been processed, and your dairy, and then you're out the door. So if you can avoid that internal part of the store. As far as when it comes to prep, make it simple. And Iowa State has a great website for very simple recipes. They're healthy, they're low cost. It's on the Spend Smart, Eat Smart webpage. So you just need to put in Spend Smart, Eat Smart, and it'll take you right there. We've got some videos actually on how to. We've got some great information on preparation, also cooking. Also, there's a great calculator on there as far as, am I spending too much for food? Gosh, maybe I need to find out. And you can put in how many days a week you eat out, or how many meals you eat out. You put in the age, the gender, the activity level, and then it will tell you whether or not you're spending too much, or what you should be spending at the grocery store on a monthly basis. So it helps if you're really trying to stretch their food dollar. But it's a wonderful website. It's also got an app that you can download, Spend Smart, Eat Smart app. It will also help you at the grocery store, which is a better buy. And so you can do a unit calculator to find out which one is which one should I choose.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. When you're at the grocery store, you always go, well, what's really the better deal? And you're trying to break it down by ounces when they're not the same number of ounces, and all sorts of things like that. What a great tool.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Great.
It helps.
Holly, thanks so much for coming on and helping us to maybe not regret those holiday eating choices for the first part of the year.
Not a problem.
That's really great information, Holly. And while they were very simple, they're things that we need to remind ourselves of all the time and bring up. And very, very good. Thank you so much. That was great.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Holly.
Hang around if you'd like for the rest of the show. You're welcome.
So one of the things you pointed out, Cheryl, is that it was easy tips. And one of the things that I always love when it's something that's easy to do, it typically means that it's also easy not to do it. The things that are easy to do is it becomes easy not to do it as well. So always good to get those reminders of things that we can do better and help us to, like we say, just not regret those extra pounds that we put on over the holidays.
Exactly.
So Darcy, let's talk about all the things going on at SBDC. You guys have always seemed to have a busy week, and I think this week was no exception to that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to us the number of people who are looking into starting their own businesses. And I know the whole past year, some folks have, lost jobs or have just decided that they want to go out on their own. So we have not really seen new business starts or counseling clients on new business starts to go down much. We're also right now with the CARES Act funding coming into some of the revolving loan funds, we're really busy in assisting clients with applying for those funds to expand their businesses or for startup. Our center serves 13 counties. We just added Buena Vista County with this new fiscal year. And so we, Kimberly Tiefenthaler, who is our regional director, and myself, the two of us, and I'm part-time. So for 1.5 people, last fiscal year, we served over 469 clients and we clocked over 819 hours. And interesting enough, we just got some of our data back. And from March to June, we served over 1,500 clients, businesses, employers, lenders, and associations throughout our counties. And it was all coronavirus related. But we had, it was crazy. So the next 2 weeks are, we're wrapping up a lot of things. We're working on revolving loan funds for next year. It'll be a little quieter the next couple of weeks as people are focused on holidays. But from what I understand, coming out of those holidays, people make those New Year's resolutions that, hey, if this is the year I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. So we'll start to see a surge again come January. With all of those kinds of requests, which gives us time, to be very honest, to start working on some of our programming. We were pretty quiet in 2020 just because of the situation. We really like to get out and do face-to-face workshops from a wide range of topics from marketing and is kind of my area of expertise, but we have our Smart Start workshops with helping businesses understand the key things that they need to do just to take those first couple of steps. We have, QuickBooks financial workshops and really anything that our community leaders and businesses are seeing that they want assistance on. So we have a huge resource team that we can bring in. So over the holiday season, we're working on putting together, and Cheryl will appreciate this, a digital marketing series. We're going to roll it out on January 13th, and it'll run through the end of February every Wednesday. And we're working on those topics now, and as soon as I have that information available, I'll make sure that I get it out so that we can share that. But it'll be me and a few other folks that'll be leading those workshops. The intention there is to keep it about a 30-minute, so a very manageable workshop. We want to do it first thing early in the morning, and then allow for questions, and then we can do one-on-one counseling with clients if they have specific questions related to their business. One of the workshops that we are going to do, and this is a great segue, Cheryl, into this afternoon. We're working on scheduling some time with Sherry, who heads up the Shop Iowa program. And so we'll have gone through that holiday season. And so it'll be good to get her viewpoint on how that program worked and through the holidays, and she can share some statistics and then help folks understand more the program if they're not aware of it and how it can help their business get online at very low risk to them. So we got a lot of cool things going on. I'll tell you, this is like I said, I'm part-time here, and it is probably the highlight of my week when I get to come to Fort Dodge and work with these clients throughout our region, because they're all varied skill sets, varied personalities, varied businesses, never are two the same. And I love that, they're all different all over the board. And so it's not a cookie cutter kind of thing that we do. Everything is custom to that client. And it makes it very rewarding when you see one that takes off and is doing well. And we've got some of those wonderful stories that if we continue this, it'd be great to highlight those as we go forward in our little time here on the program. So.
Great. And you really hit on there talking about entrepreneurs and starting their own business. I think the creativity, I've seen it, you have to have noticed it if you're on Facebook. There's a different product or service constantly coming out to address one of the issues going on, whether it's on a digital platform or it's something that you need for your house or look at all the face mask companies that came out with putting your logo on and designer face mask and just all of those things. And a lot of them are done by small businesses that just pivoted really quick to put it together.
Absolutely. And one of the businesses that we've seen several come through the center just recently are cleaning companies that are looking to go in and do commercial cleaning and also residential cleaning. I think that is more of a focus for folks these days, obviously, kind of to Holly's point earlier, we need to keep ourselves healthy. And, working in a clean environment is just one way to do that. So, we've had a handful of those new business startups as well, or succession planning. We've talked to several folks who decided now is the time for them to hand the reins over to someone else, and we're working with them on transitioning them out and someone coming in. In fact, coming up in January, Kimberly and I will be doing a certification program, working on the financial piece of that. So we'll be certified to work with clients, and I'll share more with you on that later. But kind of exciting, there's a lot of opportunities for us to work with those businesses and help them. So,
yeah, that is a very good point, because I'm seeing that a lot with my clients too. I've got a lot of dental clients that, maybe they had been thinking about retiring or whatever, and COVID just really was okay. This is time for you to let the younger ones come on board and take care of stuff. And so seeing that a lot. And of course, in Iowa, we have a very large number of older dentists out there. So that's something that I was just working with one yesterday that has gone in and bought several clinics and moving them all together. So again, that's something we're going to see, but it's also, you're talking about succession in a variety of things. People that have had businesses and are looking at passing it on to somebody else. They have maybe started it, got it going, and are looking at, how can I enrich somebody else's life? They're not getting rid of it because it's bad.
Right.
They're getting rid of it, and I hate to say getting rid of it. They are passing it on to somebody else for them to grow it as well, because it's their baby. And I've said that before on other ones. When you're talking to some of these people, they're very passionate, and they break down in tears sometimes when you're discussing things, because it is their baby. They started it. They had an idea, and then they took it to the next step.
Absolutely.
So Darcy alluded a little bit to kind of a special thing that we're going to be having a little bit later on today. And this is going to be sort of a first for our business community support discussions, but we're going to have a special program a little bit later on this afternoon if people want to join in and listen. And it's going to be solely focused on the Shop Iowa program. So for those who are interested in learning a little bit more about it, there's an opportunity this afternoon. We'll be broadcasting here on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page at 1:30 this afternoon, and we're going to get in depth on the Shop Iowa program and what it entails for business owners, but also area shoppers, Iowa folks who may want to learn more about how they can purchase some Iowa products from Iowa businesses. There's some good opportunities to do that and learn about that this afternoon as well.
I think
I'm
that
looking forward to it. It's going to be a great show this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm excited. But as Jed said, even though we're talking about Iowa, so many of the family members have moved away, and they want to send something from Iowa to a family member, or they just want to send something to a friend of theirs and say, hey, Iowa's kind of a cool place, guys, and here's something from Iowa, something that's totally different. So while we are talking Iowa, we're actually talking digital online and what we can do for our community, the small businesses, the entrepreneurs out there. The one guest that will be coming on for that program has really unique, and I'm not going to even say who it is, because we got to join to find out, or you of course, I put a teaser in there, right? So we can get them to come on. But yeah, it's really exciting, and it's will give maybe some other new entrepreneurs ideas of what they can do and make them feel comfortable enough to take that next step, because it can be scary. Because, you know, there's the idea of you being boss doesn't mean that you're 8 to 5. No. Friday.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that you just get to sit in an office and look pretty all day.
We have to get rid of that thought, right? People who start their business are not 8 to 5. You work 80 hours for yourself, so you don't have to work 40 for somebody else, is basically what we say. But, you know, the one really neat thing about the Shop Iowa program is it makes it convenient for consumers to shop local, especially with the way things are going right now, to still support their local businesses and to shop Iowa, right? We have a lot of unique businesses here. But it also, this program from a business standpoint is a very low risk opportunity for business owners to dip their toes into having an online store presence. And we get a lot of that here, like, well, you know, I really don't have the manpower to do it. Well, don't put 20 products on, put 5 or 6, and just get the systems and the processes down. And the nice thing with this program is it is being funded by the Iowa Economic Development Authority through June. So business owners can participate in this program up to 25 items for no cost. The cost is their time, but that's to be expected when you own your own business. But it's a great low risk opportunity, and we have a lot of clients that are really nervous and have entertained the idea of going on, and we keep talking to them about it. We're getting more and more signed up. I think the last time I knew, there were over 300 and some retailers throughout the state of Iowa that were on that program. That number's probably up since I last got my update. But also here at the center, and we've talked about this before, but I just want to let people know that we do have assistants to help take photographs, because we know it's a visual medium. So we've got a light box for no cost for our clients in our region. I can get additional ones if we need them. So, we even have people who can come in and take photos. So if that is the barrier to getting them to participate in this no risk opportunity, we're taking all those away to make it easy and just get out there and see what happens. Because if anything, this past year has showed us that the way that we have done business in the past is not the way we're going to do business in the future. And we've had to make what we call the pandemic pivots, right? In order to keep those sales coming in when our front door is closed or partially open, we've got to figure out other ways to get our products in the hands of our consumers, or our services in the hands of our consumers. So this is a great opportunity. And I'll tell you, this program is phenomenal for many, many reasons. So I hope if anyone, is even remotely interested, that they take the time this afternoon, because it'll be a great educational opportunity for them to really understand this program better, and hopefully roll it out for them in the first half of next year. So.
Yeah. And then, of course, if they have questions, they'll be able to pop them on there. But some of it,
love it.
They'll be able to just get their answers from listening to what's going on it. And then because it's live and because it's recorded, they'll be able to hop on anytime and re-listen to it and say, I thought they said something about something, and go back in and listen to it as well. So,
in this time of year, it might be too late for the holiday season for Christmas, but what do we have coming up in February? Valentine's Day, right? And then you're rolling into
Valentine's?
Valentine's in February, yeah.
No, I be sure. Yeah, you get Valentine's.
No, I don't. No, not in our house. Every day is Valentine's Day in our house. That's my husband, yeah. But, we're rolling into other opportunities. We're gift giving, Mother's Day. And then we all have things where we have milestones happen in our lives, right? Like new babies. Like I've got a grandchild coming in March, my first one. I want to hop out and take a look at what baby things are there. We just got a puppy, so let's take a look and see what cool dog treats or puppy accessories are available. You know, there's so many things that people are going out online to buy. And what we're finding too is a lot of people don't want to buy mainstream, right? They don't want to buy something that they're going to walk out the door and see a ton of other people wearing or have. So these unique, really cool finds, you know, people are really supporting those small businesses and those boutiques. And Shop Iowa is the perfect platform for that. So I'll get off my soapbox. I'll save it for later this afternoon. But I love this program, and I appreciate you guys giving it some attention that it justly deserves, and to allow a forum for people to be able to ask questions. And hopefully we'll see some folks hopping out there and doing some shopping yet. So.
Well, we're thrilled the fact that everybody has taken note to this program as well, and seen that it has worked on a shoestring. And just like any other entrepreneurs, we had no agenda when we started. We didn't even know what was going to happen, how we were going to do it, what kind of people we would be able to bring on. But as you can see, we've constantly been working on it. And there's always tweaking to do, but we're getting
the frequency and that consistency, right? And we talk about that all the time in marketing. You know, you're not going to be effective unless you've got those two things going for you. And so you guys have done a fantastic job of just, you know, trudging forward and making sure that every week you've got, you know, good content, and it's picking up, and more folks are tuning in, if not to the live. I've got them. I have people commenting, "Oh, I caught you on the replay. You know, I didn't know you were going to be on this week," and things like that. So it's really pretty cool. But what a great way to organically grow something, right? And it came out of a need, which is where we have our strongest entrepreneurial successes, right? Coming up with a solution to fit a problem. And you guys have done that. So it's fun to be a part of this. I appreciate the opportunity. And I know Kimberly, when her schedule allows, I know she really looks forward to it as well.
Thank you. Well, we enjoy it, even though there is work to do with it. There is backdoor stuff right now. And sometimes we've had some interesting backdoor things happen to us while we've been on here, but it's live and it's digital, and it just shows you, for anybody out there, get yourself online, be patient. It does not happen overnight. Be patient. It will work, and it will grow, and it will be a huge part of your business going forward.
Well, it's going to, whether you like it or not. Digital's coming at you like a freight train. If you own a business, you've absolutely got to be a part of it. So, Cheryl, Darcy, 2021, there it is. It's coming at us, and it's going to be here. So we're going to be not doing a regular show until after the first of the year. So you'll have a couple weeks off, and I guess I just want to say that I hope you guys and all of our regular viewers really have a happy holidays and a great Christmas and time with family. And we'll see everybody next year, right?
Yeah, great.
Absolutely. Yes.
We'll be on at 1:30 again today. 1:30 for everybody.
I will see you guys then, and happy holidays to everybody. And just to reiterate what Judd said, you know, treasure these memories.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you at 1:30. And this has been another business support broadcast with Spin Market. We've got Main Street Fort Dodge, who generally joins us, America's SBDC, and of course Alpha Media, helping to bring this as a collaborative effort as well. So we'll see everybody hopefully at 1:30, and if you don't make it, we'll see you after the first of the year. Thanks.